Hello everyone and welcome back to Netmastery Zone channel and another video from FortiGate series. In the previous videos we configure our LDAP and radio server, and here in this video I'm going to use this LDAP server for Remote Access VPN. Here specific in this video I'm going to use LDAP and IK version 1. Why only IK version 1? Because the IK version 2 and LDAP is not supported in the FortiGate. It's by design. It doesn't mean that it's in all different vendors, but here in the FortiGate we cannot configure this because the IK version 2 actually use IP, and IP the radio server is very capable to actually authenticate this IP, but when we goes to LDAP is not very standard actually, and most of LDAP doesn't support this IP. Because of that we cannot use it here in the FortiGate. Of course, you can go for more information to the FortiGate documentation, but in the brief that I can say, IK version 2 and LDAP is not possible to configure in the FortiGate. Okay, let's start our configuration using IK version 1 and LDAP server. For that, first of all, let's go to our FortiGate interface, and here let's go to the VPN section and try to create another VPN. In VPN section we have different let me show you. We have different tabs that we can use for configuring our VPN. For example, in the IPsecVPN we can create a new and create our IPsecVPN, or we can use this IPsec wizard. Of course, we have also SSL and SSL VPN, and here we can actually configure the VPN using two different standards. The IPsec, that is open standard, and it's almost same in every vendor because it's open standard, and the deployment of this is very standardized. But in the SSL VPN it's vendor specific, and maybe we cannot be able to we may not be able to actually combine different vendors and use SSL VPN. For example, in the here in the IPsec we can use a Cisco AnyConnect to in the client side, and FortiGate in the server side to run Remote Access VPN. But if we try the configuration SSL, we may not be able to do that. And at all, IPsec is the best protocol I can say for the Remote Access VPN and widely used in the world. And SSL is using the OpenSSL protocol, and that is used mostly for the accessing the websites. The good thing about this SSL VPN is that it's using the port 443, and this port 443 is also used for accessing the HTTPS websites, and because of that it's not possible to block this port inside the firewalls. For example, in some countries accessing a specific website is not allowed, and the people using the VPN to open this websites, and they connect remotely to another server and use that website from that server. In this case, if it be the IPsec VPN, of course ISPs can easily block these ports. For example, port 500 for IK version 2 and IK version 1. In this case they can easily block the IPsec VPN. But if it's go to the SSL VPN, they are not be able to block port 443, and if they block that, none of the website will be accessible because all of them is using this SSL VPN. Okay, let's start our configuration, and it was just a brief information maybe. And here let's go and use this IPsec wizard. That makes our job very easy. Of course, we can use this IPsec tunnels, but we may miss some configuration and or may do some misconfiguration here. But in the wizard, actually, it's give us a very informative procedure to configure our VPN. Here you can see that we can configure site-to-site VPN, hub and spoke, remote access, or custom. I'm going to use this remote access VPN, and for the remote device type, we can use the client base or the native. What is client base? For example, it's like FortiGate, FortiClient, or Cisco AnyConnect. It's a client that we can install in the other side in our machine. It can be mobile phone or it can be a computer. And native is most of this devices like iOS. You can see here Android, iOS, and Windows. They have a native application inside, and we can configure that application to connect to our VPN. And as I said, that it's IPsec, and of course this native client will be used because it's open standard, and it's deployed same in all of devices, in all of vendors. Okay, I'm going to use this client base here, and in the client base you can see that FortiClient or Cisco. Of course, I'm going to use this FortiClient because anyway the FortiClient is more compatible with the FortiGate in compared to Cisco, and if we have a FortiGate, it doesn't make sense to use the Cisco AnyConnect for the connection. Okay, let me give a name here. For example, I'm going to name that Remote Access, and let's name this LDAP, because I'm going to use the LDAP server for authenticating the user. Okay, let's click on next. In the next screen, that we need to say the incoming interface. This is you can see this diagram here, and it's a very good hint. And here you can see this is the incoming interface, that when a client trying to access the VPN, it means that this is the interface that client needs to know about it. Here, incoming interface, let's go to our diagram. I'm going to configure this port 1 as an incoming interface for this corporate network. Of course, we can use port 2 also, and we can use both of them, but in the separate tunnels. If we want to have a redundancy, if one of these ISP is down, then we can use port 2, and from the ISP 2 it will access this VPN. But here let's make everything simple, and let's select our ISP 1 as an incoming interface. Authentication method, we can use a signature, the certificate, or the pre-shared. Let's use the pre-shared key. I'm going to use Cisco 123 as a pre-shared key, and the user group, that which group it's going to access this remote access VPN. Okay, before selecting this, let me actually create a group here, because in the previous videos, of course, we created this LDAP, but this LDAP group, let me show you. This LDAP group is created to used as a management users to access the management interface of FortiGate. I'm going to create another LDAP group and use that as a remote access VPN. Let me click on create. First of all, let's give a name. Let's name that remote access underscore LDAP, and now type of firewall, let's add. I'm going to use this LDAP server as a remote server, and here you can see that we have different groups here. Let's open this, let's go to the lab, and here let's use this remote access as a group that I'm going to use to be able to connect to the remote access VPN. Okay, let's save this. You can see here the LDAP server, and this group remote access is used as a remote access LDAP group name. Let's save this. Okay, this is the user group that we are going to use. Next, in the next interface, you can see the local interface. We are going to give access to which interface. For example, for this user, this user is going to access this port, and when it's connected to the VPN, maybe we here in this diagram we only have one interface that is inside, and we are going to give this access to this inside. Maybe this FortiGate adds some other interfaces, for example DMZ, or maybe one interface was for HR or IT or something. Then we can grant the access to this user to one of these interfaces. Here we only have one interface, and that is interface inside. Let's select that inside, and the local address, which IP address that we are going to allow access to. Here I'm going to use this 10.10.0.0. It's a group network object, and it's the subnet 10.10.0.0/16 is allowed. Okay, let's select this, and here the client address range. Let's go back to our diagram. Here you can see 10.10.100.0/24 is the range of IP address that I'm going to use for remote access. Then let's type that 10.10.100.1. It's a range. We have to select this. We have to type in the kind of range format 10.100.254. This is the all IP address that is available in this range, and I'm going to use all of them. And the subnet mask is 255.255.255/32 bits, because every time when we connect, we just only assign one IP address, and it's okay. It can be the 32-bit of mask. And also here you can see the DNS server. The DNS, I'm going to use the system DNS, or I can specify any DNS if I want to apply different DNS to that end user. I'm going to use this system DNS and enable IPv4 split tunnel. Here, when this user is connected to the corporate network, the traffic that is belong to this network. For example, I'm going to use this LDAP server in this Windows. For example, let's assume this server is HTTP server, and I need to access this IIS inside this HTTP server. In this case, the traffic that is belong to this server will go through the tunnel. But if I try to access internet, I want to, for example, go to Google website and search something, then it doesn't need to go to the corporate network and then get out from that. It can directly go to the internet. This split tunnel actually doing that, and it's a good idea to enable it because we are not going to send all our traffic to the corporate network. For example, this user, if this user tried to watch some videos inside the YouTube, then all the traffic will goes to this corporate network. Then corporate networks need to access the YouTube, and it come back to the corporate network, and then through the tunnel will come to this user. And it's not a good idea because we will just use all the bandwidth of our corporate network. In this case, we just enable this split tunneling here. and also allow the endpoint registration, that is allow to register the endpoint inside the FortiGate. Okay, let's click next. Here we have some other options, that save password, auto connect, and always up, keep alive. It's just when we connect our VPN, it will always be up, always connected. It will never time out to disconnect this. But I believe this options needs the license for the FortiGate client in the user side, and may not be used. Even if I just select them, it will not work, because I'm just using the free version of FortiClient and also the evaluation license of this FortiGate. Let's click on next, and here you can see the all information that we just added here. Let's create this. You can see that this all this configuration is created, and but this one is down because the now is nothing connected to this tunnel. Okay, the tunnel is created. Let's go to the IPsec tunnel, and here we are able to see this tunnel that we are created. Let's click on that and edit it. Of course, after creating, we need to make it we need to customize that, and we need to change some configuration. Here, to be able to change it, we need to convert that to the custom tunnel, and now we are able to change every section. For example, in the first one is the network. This is the port interface that we are going to connect to, the range, the IP address, and in this section everything is okay. Let's go to our authentication. Here we are using the appreciate key, and you can see here it's the IC version 1 and aggressive. It's already selected, and accept type any peer ID. It should be any always, because we are using the X authentication here to authenticate our user. And let's go to the phase 1. Phase 1, DES and MD5, DES and SHA for encryption and authentication. We are not allowed to use any strong authentication like encryption like AES or authentication because of our evaluation license. And also the diffie-Hellman group, by default it select 14 and 5. Let's remove this 5 and just make 14 is enough here. I don't want to conflict it in the FortiClient in the user side. And X authentication, this is the group that we are going to use, the remote access LDAP, and this is connected to LDAP server, and also it's pointed to the remote access users inside the LDAP server, inside the Active Directory. And let's go to our phase 2. In the phase 2, this is the comment, of course, because it's created by Wizard, just add this. Of course, we can change this. And the local and remote IP address, let it be everything. Here, actually, it doesn't make sense to change this. Let's go to the advanced. And in the advanced, you can see again, we have the diffie-Hellman group here, and let's select this 14, that is for PFS, and perfect forward secrecy, and we are going to use this group 15. And also again, encryption and authentication, same. This is DES and MD5, DES and SHA, because we are not able to use the strong authentication in this version. Okay, let's okay this. Now our tunnel is created and it's ready to connect by the user. Okay, let's go to our Windows here and try to connect to our VPN. Let me remote access to this. This is okay, connected. Here we can download the FortiClient from the internet for free, and I recommend after installation you should restart your PC. By default it doesn't ask for restart, but it's a good practice to restart that, because I face a lot of problem because of that, and it doesn't send the traffic. It's ping the gateway, everything, but when you try to connect the VPN, it's not working, even it doesn't touch the firewall. The good thing is, after installation is to the FortiClient, you should restart the PC, and then everything is okay. Then you can create your VPN tunnel. Let's wait for this to come. Okay, now the PC is just come up, and I'm going to connect this FortiGate FortiClient, configure this FortiGate client to connect this PC to the VPN. Let's wait for this. I think the PC is still loading. Okay, my Windows actually it was corrupted, and I just re-imaged that again, and now there is no FortiGate client installed here. I'm just going to use this to show you which version of the FortiClient that you can download here in your PC. Let's type here FortiClient. Let's search that FortiClient download, and it will redirect us to the FortiGate website, and here we can download this FortiGate. There is some other version of this FortiClient that is for different usage, and here I'm going to download the FortiClient VPN, and we have different version for different operating system. Here I'm going to use this Windows version, and it's a online installer file, and it's need internet to install. Let's first download the just 2 MB of these files, and then it will guide us to install the application. Okay, let me run that, and here it will start downloading the image, and after the download it will start installation. Let's wait for this to download. Okay, the download is completed here, and now the installation. Just easily next and accept the license agreement. Let's wait. Okay, I just accept this license agreement and install this application. As I said before, it's a very good idea to restart the Windows after installation. That help us to troubleshoot if there is any other problem, because I face many times that without restart this VPN is not able to connect, and also it even doesn't touch the firewall to make log and to tell us what is the problem. Okay, the installation is done. Let's finish that, and let's restart our PC. Okay, after you start, let's run this FortiGate client and accept this, and let's configure our VPN here. The first we need to select what kind of VPN that we are going to connect, and that is IPsec VPN, and the connection name, it's optional. We can use any name. Let me use that Remote Access LDAP. Next time we know that this connection is for the LDAP user authentication. And then the remote gateway, this is very important that we should select the correct gateway. That is 172.172.16 10.2, and that is the IP address of the port 1 in the FortiGate, this port. Next, we are going to use the pre-shared key. It was Cisco 123, and if I want to save any login, I can name it, for example, Bob. I want to save this Bob, and then let's go to the advanced setting. Here, first option is VPN setting. Here we can change the version of the IC, which version we are going to use. We configured IC version 1 and in the aggressive mode, and in phase 1 you can see that it's by default it's using that advanced authentication, but we are not allowed to configure that in the server side. Then let's change that to this configuration should be according to the configuration that we made in the FortiGate firewall, and we used phase 1 this MD5 and this SHA-1, and also the defilement group 14. The lifetime by default is 86,000 something, and this is for 1 day in second. And then let's go to phase 2. In phase 2, same, we need to change this encryption, because in the other side it's using the DES and MD5 and SHA, and also the key life, and also in second, or we can configure that in kilobytes, and also the enable relay detection and perfect forward secrecy FPS, and we configure group 14 for this one also. Let's save this. Okay, now our VPN is configured. Let's click on home, and it will show us this VPN. Okay, let's I think the application is restarted. Let's wait. It's in that the Windows is loading something. Actually it's a virtual machine, and of course it has a limited RAM and processor, and because of that it takes some time. During this time, let's go to our Active Directory and check our user, the Bob, because we are going to connect this to the Remote Access VPN using this user, and let's see that it's if it's a member of the Remote Access. Yes, let's remove that from admin user, and this is Remote Access user in the group of Remote Access. And what about Sarah? Sarah is a member of group admin group, and she's not in the member of the Remote Access. Then she should not be able to connect to the VPN, but Bob should be able to access and connect to the Remote Access VPN. Okay, let's type the username Bob and the password that we configured before in the Active Directory, and click on connect. Let's wait and see that if this connection is successful or not. If it's not, of course we can go to our FortiGate, and we will troubleshoot that, and you see that this Remote Access VPN actually it's connected. And now if I try to ping, you can see that Remote Access, and it's connected, and the IP address that it received is 10.10.101. and here if I try to ping, I'm going to ping to, for example, let's ping this VPC. First let's make sure that it has IP address, IPDHCP. .10.10.2.51. Let me ping that 10.10.2.51, and I should be able to ping it. And you can see that now my PC is connected, and I'm able to ping inside the corporate network from this remote user here. Okay, let's go to our FortiGate, and here let's go to our VPN tunnel. It should be green now. Let me refresh this, because now it's connected and it should be active. Yeah, there is one dial-up connection. It's available here, and if you want to see any log here, I believe it's not available here in the FortiGate 6.4, but in FortiGate 7 you can directly go to the log from right click here and see the log, but here it's not available. Let's go to the log and reports, and here in the event we are going to select the VPN events here. In the VPN event you can see all the log that this tunnel actually generated during the connection, and now it's used to negotiate the phase 2 using this tunnel name, and now it's connected to the VPN. And let's do something. Let's disconnect this VPN and try to connect another user, that is Sarah. Okay, the tunnel is disconnected. Let's try to connect Sarah here. And this time the connection should not be successful, because Sarah doesn't have rights to connect to the Remote Access VPN. It's not in the Remote Access VPN group inside the LDAP server. And as you see that the connection is not working, and I think I almost disconnected from the remote desktop. It's because it's trying to connect to a network, and it's just disconnect my connection to this. Okay, it will come back, and here let's go to our FortiGate, and this time let's check and see the log that is generated for this. Let me refresh this. And here you see that the phase 1 is success. The phase 1 actually is failed, and but unfortunately doesn't give us any better. Let me see if we can see any better information to say what is the reason of this. Yeah, the result is X authentication failed, and it's because the user is not in the group that expected to be. For more information, if you need more detail, of course we can go to the FortiGate, and here in the FortiGate let's run the debug. Let me log in first. And to run the debug, the command is debug, and let's enable that, and debug application. Most of the services that this FortiGate is providing, it's in the application if you want to debug that. As you can see that the POP3, IMAP, and L2TP, PPTP, and so on. Also Wi-Fi, and but here I'm looking for IKE, and after IKE we need to run a number that's an integer. It's a debug level. I'm going to run that in -1. For more information about this different level, of course you can check the FortiGate documentation. Okay, the debug message is enabled for 13 minutes. Let's put them down, and here you can see that I just come back to this. Let me type again. And this is Cisco at 123, the password, and let's connect it. This time we should be able to see the log here inside the FortiGate. You can see that this log is generated, and from this log you can see here the X authentication user Sarah and authentication group remote access LDAP, and this is pending. Then it's trying to retry again, and again the reset command is sent, and finally it just it should give us the message that this authentication is failed. X authentication for the user Sarah is failed, and tries two times, but it's failed. It's because the username and password is not actually the user is not in the correct group. And if we go here and add this Sarah to the group of remote access, okay, this time the user is in the correct group, then we should be able to access this. Let's wait for this Windows to come back, and this time we should be able to connect to the Remote Access VPN using this user Sarah. Okay, let's type the username again. And this time this authentication should be successful, and you can see here, yes, the FortiGate is connected, and it should give us the command, yes, that now the message IK message is sending and receiving, and are you there acknowledgement. That is this is the communication in IK that they are sending and receiving the messages to make sure that the tunnel is up. And now even if I try to, for example, let's this time ping 1.21, and that is the LDAP server, you can see that I'm able to ping this LDAP server using this Remote Access VPN. Okay, I think we configure everything about IK version 1 and also the LDAP server here, and now we are connected to the Remote Access VPN using this LDAP server. Of course, we can change this configuration to radius and also for the local connection, local users, but we will do that in the next videos, of course, to configure the radius server and also configuring the IK version 2. For now, let's finish our video here. Please don't forget to subscribe our channel, and also please let me know if you have any question about this video. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.